영어 회화 level 3 Power English.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen Cho.
And I'm Cameron Word.
We are traveling today.
Woohoo.
We love to travel. And where are we going this month?
We're going to Poland.
Yes. Our Tuesday dialogue today starts on page 103. So then you can follow us along there. And we're going to specifically in Poland, the Tatra Mountains.
Okay.
So it's a small town. There's a little small town there. It's got little shops and little restaurants. Very quaint, very traditional.
Those are always the best places to go
They are. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
City is nice. But if you really want to get a feel for the country, you want to go to these sort of small, quaint villages.
It's true. Unless you're in America, don't go there.
In America, you're just going to have to drive a long time.
Yeah, well, so I'm from a very small place.
Yeah.
My town has 4,000 people.
Right.
And, there, not only would there be nothing to do, there's also, nothing to see. There's not... I feel like if you go to, Europe or even, Korea, there's some, rural villages that are nice to go and just be in the village. In America, that isn't really a thing.
Okay, but I would like to disagree.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I lived in Los Angeles, and one time I went to Kansas.
Okay.
And even though there was nothing to see, it was very interesting to just see this kind of another part of America. Like a small town.
Just like cornfields.
Yeah, just cornfields.
And
It was very enlightening.
What did you eat, though?
I don't remember.
Right?
Yeah. I don't remember.
I feel like in a lot of places, if you go to the rural, it'll be but the food's good. I feel like in America, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
The cities have the good food and the
I think I suggest just going through the town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Road trip.
Okay, road trip. If something is a far cry from something, what is a far cry? Like crying, 울다? Yeah. What does this mean?
This means it's very different from something.
Very different.
Yeah.
I see. With that in mind, what does this mean?
Thinking about that, or because of that reason.
Okay. Oh, here's a good one. Mom and pop shop.
A mom and pop shop is a small business.
Yeah.
It's not a chain.
That's right. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and listen to our power dialogue.
Wow! It's so nice to be in the Tatra Mountains after a week in the big cities.
Yeah, Zakopane is a far cry from all the steel and concrete of Warsaw and Krakow.
It's going to be even nicer when we're on top of that mountain looking down at this town.
With that in mind, I need to find a store to buy some new shoelaces.
I saw a cute mom and pop shop on the corner that sells shoes.
Great. Let's get some Polish dumplings afterwards.
Okay, please turn to page 104. You can follow with us here. The Power Dialogue is there. The best of Poland, the Tatra Mountains. Let's begin. Maxwell says, wow, it's so nice to be in the Tatra Mountains after a week in the big cities. And what does Kayla say?
Yeah, Zakopane is a far cry from all the steel and concrete of Warsaw and Krakow.
Okay. Now, there's Zakopane, Warsaw, Krakow. This is the way usually Americans pronounce this, but I'm sure in the native language, totally different.
Yeah, I'm sure Polish people say this
we don't
very
say.
differently.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this expression of far cry from, you're comparing two things.
Yes.
So A is a far cry from B.
Yeah.
It's interesting why it's far cry, because we see the word cry and we think 울다, crying.
Right.
So what do you think that is? Or why do you think that is?
I do not know for sure, but I think here cry is not about what we think of tears coming out of the eyes.
Yeah.
I think it's more to do with yelling.
Yes.
So to cry out means to go, hey! Hey!
Yeah.
Can you hear me? So to cry out means to like raise your voice. So if it's a far cry from, it means it is far away from you. You're going to have to yell very loudly to be heard. But now, we don't even really use far cry in that way. It means that it is very different from.
It is very different from.
In style. So here we are talking about cities. Warsaw, Krakow, Zakopane. We're talking about cities, but we're not talking about the distance between them.
Yeah.
We're talking about the difference in style, the difference in atmosphere.
Environment.
Yes.
Right. So what is a steel and concrete? We usually use these together, these two words together, to describe industrial areas or cities.
Right. Yes, we do use the phrase steel and concrete to talk about cities and how they're very gray. They're very inorganic. There's not a lot of
nature.
Green, living nature life, right? There's no trees, really. There aren't parks. So depending on what type of city you are, so I would say that maybe more modern cities, newer cities, would be considered steel and concrete. So, for example, New York is a good example.
Yeah.
Right? There's just a lot of really tall skyscrapers.
Right. Seoul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seoul too. Parts of Seoul, yeah.
Even if it's a big city, if it's an older city, though, I don't know if we'd say steel and concrete.
Right. So, it's more modern. Yeah, with buildings.
Right.
Okay. Maxwell says, it's going to be even nicer when we're on top of that mountain looking down at this town. So Maxwell is looking forward to going to the top of the mountain.
Yes.
Okay. And having the view. And what does Kayla say?
With that in mind, I need to find a store to buy some new shoelaces.
Now, this expression is interesting. We do use it quite often.
Yes, we do.
And it's a bit of a connector. It's like a transitional phrase.
Yes.
So what do we mean by this with that in mind?
So what Kayla is saying here is whatever Maxwell said, it has a relationship or it has a reason connected to what she wants to do, connected to her next action. So she is wanting to go to the store to buy new shoelaces. And she says with that in mind, because Maxwell says, when we're on top of the mountain.
Right.
So the idea of being on top of the mountain made Kayla think, I need new shoelaces.
Yes. For her hiking boots.
Right. We're assuming to walk up the mountain, she needs these new shoelaces.
Right. So it's kind of like you just heard something and it reminded you. With that in mind, let's do this, or I have to do this.
Right. It is often whenever it's reminding you, in this case maybe as well, it doesn't have to be about remembering it, but just saying, oh, that is the reason why I also want to do this.
I see. Got it. Maxwell says, I saw a cute mom and pop shop in the corner that sells shoes. I like this. We need more mom and pop shops, but they're disappearing.
Oh, yes.
Aren't they? What are they?
A mom and pop shop is a small shop that is run often by a family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is not a chain store. So it's not a franchise. Right? It is just... Maybe there's one, maybe two, like a very small, like maybe they opened a second store in the same city.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just those little small shops. And you don't see them often.
No, they're disappearing. They're disappearing in like the local neighborhoods.
Oh, yeah.
And Kayla says, great, let's get some Polish dumplings afterwards.
Yes.
So afterwards is actually used at the end, and it is our power pattern.
So afterwards is another way of saying after that. Let's get some Polish dumplings afterwards. So if you were to say after that, I would think it's immediate. Right? We're going to go to the store and then immediately go get dumplings.
Okay.
However, if you put afterwards, it gets a little vague. Is it immediately? Or maybe they're going to wait 30 minutes. Maybe they'll wait an hour. She just wants to do it after.
Okay,
at some point.
There's no specific time. It's just like, let's do it after we do that.
Yeah. But maybe not immediately.
Not immediately. Okay, good to know. Let's go ahead and listen to that one more time.
Wow. It's so nice to be in the Tatra Mountains after a week in the big cities.
Yeah, Zakopane is a far cry from all the steel and concrete of Warsaw and Krakow.
It's going to be even nicer when we're on top of that mountain looking down at this town.
With that in mind, I need to find a store to buy some new shoelaces.
I saw a cute mom and pop shop on the corner that sells shoes.
Great. Let's get some Polish dumplings afterwards.
It's time for Power Note. Please join us on pages 106 and 107. We're going to give you some example sentences of our first expression, a far cry from something, which is basically it's very different from.
Yes.
This hotel is fancy. Look at the chandeliers.
It's a far cry from the places where we usually stay.
Okay. So they stayed at like 2-star hotels. This hotel is 5 stars.
Wow.
It's a far cry from that place. Your new car is a far cry from that piece of junk you drove in college.
Yeah. So anytime there is a big difference, and in both of our examples, it is going from a negative to a positive, but it does not have to.
Okay.
It can go from a positive to a negative.
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So my mother, this story has been a while now. She did not fly on an airplane until she was 41, 42.
Wow.
Yeah, very late. Okay. She was a little scared, but for their anniversary, she and my father flew on a plane.
Okay.
And because it was their anniversary, the person checking them in bumped them up to first class.
Wow.
So her first plane ride ever was in first class.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, this is easy. Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. And it was because it was a short flight. It was like a 45-minute flight in first class. Okay. And then they had to transfer to another plane. They had to connect to another plane. Right. Then she went into economy. She's like, this is a far cry from our first plane. What happened?
What happened? So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get upgraded to like a nice like business or first class, the difference is real.
You can't go back.
You can't go back.
You really can't. It's like when you buy a good bed.
Yeah.
Like your first adult good mattress.
Yeah.
You can't go back to those like high school, college,
I
like
know.
really bad mattresses.
It's a far cry.
It's just a far cry in quality.
In quality.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. I love that examples. Those examples. Okay, with that in mind, so what you're saying is you're saying something and then you are commenting on what you just said and that you're going to do.
Yeah. Thinking that statement, thinking about that, I have a reason or I have an action
to do
related to that.
Okay, let's take a look. All the restaurants close at 9 p.m. tonight.
With that in mind, we need to find a place to eat soon.
Okay, because it's 8:30.
Yeah.
Right now it's 8:30 and the restaurants close at 9 p.m. So with that in mind, we need to find a place.
Yes.
Jenny is moving next month. With that in mind, we should throw her a party.
Yeah. Now that I know that, now that I'm hearing that, there's a reason for this next action that I think we should do.
Right. So let's you're in a business meeting.
Okay.
Okay. How can we use this expression as we're speaking?
So for example, your company president has just gotten into a big scandal.
Okay.
With that in mind, I think we need to stop negotiations for now.
Oh, right.
Right? That company A is going through something. They have a big problem. So our company, Company B, with that in mind, I think we should just wait a little bit.
Okay. Our company is having some serious financial issues. And, some of you are due for a raise, a promotion. But with that in mind, I'm afraid that we'll just have to skip this year.
Skipping the raise.
Yes, the promotions and the raise because of the financial problems.
Oh, no, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
We're giving some really negative examples.
How about positive?
Oh, you just got a promotion?
Oh.
With that in mind, we should order the good wine. Not the cheap stuff. We need to get the expensive stuff.
Oh, you got a bonus today?
Yeah.
With that in mind.
I'm going to order the steak.
Let's get 4인분.
Yeah. Let's get the Hanu.
Let's get the Hanu.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great example. Okay. Mom and Pop Shop is a small family-run business.
Yes.
What kind of store did your parents have?
It was a convenience store, but just a mom and pop shop. Nothing fancy. So this is a good example.
Yeah.
There aren't many of these left. But in Korea, we know convenience stores, a lot of them are franchises, right?
That's right.
The people buy the name and then they can use the name as their convenience store.
Right.
Even if it's owned by two people, a mom and a dad, it is not a mom and pop shop.
Yes.
It would have to be a no-name convenience store.
Yeah. So you can't have a franchise store, even though the family runs it. It cannot be a mom and pop shop.
Right. So my friend, his mom and dad own a gas station.
Okay.
But the gas station is a chain gas station.
Yeah.
They just bought the name, just used the name. It is not considered a mom and pop shop.
That's right.
Even though they own it all the way.
Okay. Very good. Sunny turned her parents' mom and pop shop into a busy cafe.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, when the business gets too big, even if it is run by a family, once it gets too big, it's not considered a mom and pop shop anymore.
That's right. So that mom and pop, it just really it's very small and quaint.
Yeah.
It's very, it's not big. Okay. Afterwards is our power pattern, which means after we do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went to a movie afterwards.
After dinner, maybe.
After dinner.
She headed home afterwards.
Yeah.
After the
dinner party.
After the dinner party. Yeah.
Okay. Steel and concrete is our power vocab. There's a nice definition on page 108. And also we have a power practice. Which sentence should we work on?
이 해변은 꽤 멋지지만 하와이와는 전혀 다르다.
전혀 다르다 is a far cry from something. Try to put that together. Okay. Thanks so much for studying with us, and make sure to drop by Audio 어학당.
Yes.
Pay a very small fee, and you can listen to us again and again and again. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.